All right, so we left.
All right, read this out.
Pardon me.
Start it.
All right, Shalom. This is brother Denya Allah.
Mr. Brother Ariella from GMS Pittsburgh.
Yep, GMS Pittsburgh. Doing a sit down today, but first off, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha Hakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone. And Shalom to the hopeful elect brethren teaching and pushing this word in sincerity and in truth.
Right, shalom.
All right. So yeah, we have this live titled Uproars of the People and Earthquakes.
Right,
We got a couple of articles compiled, right, and the scriptures and how they fit into prophecy coming from the scriptures.
that's right, that's right.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna
So
start on that. I got the book of Second Ezra 9, verse 1. And it reads, it says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he had made, or which he made.
right, right, and now this is that time that he's speaking about, because we see these different signs coming to pass, letting us know that the end is near, and that the Lord's about to bring his ultimate judgment.
That's right, that's right.
Right?
Verse
Hey, is more on that?
yeah, verse 3 it says, Therefore, when there shall be up Lakia, it says, Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Right, right. So, hey, uproars and Salaki. They said earthquakes there too.
Yep, yep. I'll read it again. Verse 3 again, second Ezra 9, verse 3, it says, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Right, right. And then it says the end is manifest. Right, meaning it's already it's coming to uh, 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 meaning it is making itself known. Right, it's coming into fruition. Right, so the end is manifest because now, if you look throughout the news, there's all kinds of violent uprisings happening, and there's earthquakes in various places, right? So to start off there, I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay, yep. It's on you. Oh, and might I add, so when you read the first verse in second Ezra 9, it says what? Measure thou the times diligently in itself, man. So as watchmen of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, brothers are constantly on a watch of the things that's going on all throughout the earth. And you know what? We're lining up with this scripture.
Right,
We're lining these different prophecies, we're lining these different things up. You know, everything that's being done all throughout the earth, we're all going back to the scriptures and saying, you know what? Hey, this said that this would be done. You know, I want to
right,
get a precept for you. Bring that article out. I want to get This is the book of Ephesians 5, verse 15. It says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, man." You see, so what the point I wanted to touch is in the 15th verse, man. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, man. And when you're circumspect, you're constantly looking around. Okay, you're paying attention of everything that's around you. You know, and the man of the Lord is going to always, be focused and be paying attention of everything that's going around. Hey, as a watchman should, if there's a watchman, right, like at the ancient times, if you're set to guard and the watch over the tower. When you're in that tower, always on alert, attention to everything around you. You know, you can't sleep while you're on guard because when you sleep while you're on guard, that might be the day. Someone might be spying out your castle, or just lurking around and see that. Hey, we know at certain times of the day that this guard he always falls asleep. So on his side of the wall, this is the side of the wall that we're going to breach. Meaning there's a way for them to get in a weak spot. So, but in its truth, the men of the Lord, we have to continue to stand upon our watch. We got to continue to be, circumspect of the things that's going on around us. Even within ourselves, we have to always, be mindful of what we are getting ourselves into. Because the days, the times we're in now, things are getting much worse.
Okay.
So we can't always be indulged or engage ourselves many of different. As you when we watch the different news, what do you see? Right now, you see these mass shootings at concerts and these mass shootings at movie theaters and things like that. Not saying that it's not okay for brothers and men want to go out and enjoy themselves, but just knowing that, hey, as days go on, things are going to get crazier, man. Even if it's Esau setting it up to create his martial law to take the guns off the street, we know how he plays. As the scripture says, we should be paraphrasing, lest we should be ignorant of Satan's devices, because we know he's setting all these different things up to, usher out martial law and all this madness, But hey, brothers, just we have to be circumspect because we know, things can go down at any moment.
Right. Right. Just as it says in the scripture, Yahweh Shai is going to come as a thief in the night. Right. It's going
Right.
to take. It's going to take a lot of people by surprise. But the men of the Lord are preparing and watching to be ready for when that time comes.
Yep. That's correct. Yep. That's correct.
Right. So this is the here we have a earthquake tracker. This is on the website Salakia. I need to share my screen. Still getting used to this.
And I don't even know why my screen just automatically keep going dark now. I never even did this before.
I think they should be. I can see you on my screen. All right, can you see this?
Yeah, I see. Yep, I see it.
All right. So this is the USGS earthquake USGS.gov. That's the website, and it's a earthquake tracker for current earthquakes. So as you can see here, I have over here on this side where it's highlighted. This is earthquakes that are within the past day, and here is like I believe it's about 26. I counted 26 within the past day, and this is around the world.
Mm.
But then you go to in the past 30 days. So like in the past month, that's like yeah, in the past month, you see all these different earthquakes pop up, right? And from the Richter scale, the the yellow ones, Salakia. Yeah, the yellow ones was in the past week. The orange ones in the past day. All the gray ones are older, and if you see red, that's in the past hour. But let me see if I could, if they have the amount of earthquakes.
Right, because we know even the ones that's all alerted, he's not even going to tell you of all the different ones, man, because there's so many, man.
Right, right. He's not going to tell you.
And I remember I was watching this one guy who was kind of popular. All he did was him and his wife used to do was track hurricanes. They used to do her. I mean, earthquake trackers, and I believe it was a few months ago. He said he was starting to get letters. You know, that you know uh, those people which is are in higher positions. For like the government officials type of people. They said he said they start sending him letters to the point where uh, he eventually stopped doing the earthquake tracker, man. Because that information, they don't be wanting that information to be out there like that. Even though it's easy to access some of this information, you know, but for as how many and when it's like 30 a day, they don't want people tracking that information and to put it out there to the public
Right.
because their goal is to keep um the public to a blind eye as much as possible up to what's really taking place.
Right. That way they keep them blind. They can manipulate them even better. You know.
And people think that earthquakes are a light thing. Earthquakes are not a light thing, man. You see,
Right.
but the earth is speaking, man, and more than it has been ever. The earth is speaking about many different ways. Earthquakes, the volcano eruptions, which that end up the earthquakes end up leading to that. The sinkhole. Okay, all those things. That's just showing you that the earth is speaking, man. The farmers can't till the ground no more. And cattle don't have too many places to eat. All those
Right.
are various ways of the earth speaking, man. Because the earth is tired, man. Trees can't grow, man. Hey, because the earth is a living organism, man.
Kind. Yep. The Earth is living.
That's on you, bro.
Yeah. But as you can see here, it's a lot if my computer is acting a little funny. Yeah, as you can see here, over here in the Asia slash Australia region, you can see all these different earthquakes. And here it doesn't give you a precise number of how many there are, but from one day I counted about 26, and this looks like it might be in the hundreds. All these different earthquakes happening all over the place. Right. And one thing to notice too is over here in the Americas, right, there hasn't been too many earthquakes. And the thing is, people, Americans think nothing bad is gonna happen to them because there's nothing happening to them, like right now. But there's all these different things happening that they're not putting on mainstream media, and then you know just because they don't see it happening in their country, they think it's not going to come to them. But you see it happening all over the place around the world. So you might not see as many earthquakes in America, but you see them all over the world, which is still proving you know that prophecy which Yahweh Shai talked about in the 20 Matthew's the 24th chapter.
Right.
Right, and I'm gonna get that real quick.
This
What'd you say,
yeah,
bro?
yeah. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is Matthew's chapter 24 and verse 3. And it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciple came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and
Right.
the end of the world?
So
Right,
the
yo, you wanted to
disciples
speak on that?
was speaking to the Lord. They're asking him, well, when's going to be the end of the world, man? When is going to be the sign of thy coming? When are we going to know? And Yahweh Shai is about to speak, tell him.
Okay. Right. And verse 4, it says, And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Yeah,
For
because
nation, right,
all these things are happening right now. What you're hearing with all these different media talks, you're hearing what? Wars and rumors of wars, you know? And all these things are saying like, well, all these must come to pass. You're going to hear all these different things taking place. But the end is not yet. You know, so we know we're not at the end for the end game, you know, but we know we're at the end, but you know, we're not at the very end, because in the very end, you know, different prophecies got to be rolling and coming to pass. You know, because the end all be all is World War III, man. When America Babylon agreed to destroy back thermonuclear missiles.
con, yep,
Did you
that's
guys
the end
that
game.
article speaking on the wars and rumors of wars, like different war talks?
Yeah, yeah, I have some articles on that too. Yeah,
You can yeah, that'd be a good time. You can bring that out right now, and then we can
all right.
hit roll. Block. I'll be right back.
Oh, Salaki, did I pull that one up? Oh, Salaki, I didn't think I pulled that one up. All right, hold on, let me see. Can you still see my screen? Let me see. Just look it up real quick. War talks.
You get it, bro?
Yeah, I think that's the one. That's the one I forgot to pull up.
Well, stop it right there. Let me see. So when you look at the screen, you see like Trump trade war, and he's been doing this though different, putting these different tariffs on these different nations. You know, that's kind of make it hard for them to trade. And mainly right now it's been heavy with China. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Yeah,
See who else we got. So we see it's just mentioning basically China right now.
yeah. Uh, Trump's having a trade war with China.
But if you dig a little bit deeper and further, you know, dealing with these different war talks, it's within amongst all the different nations. You know, you got Israel going back and forth with um I believe it's Palestine, if I'm not mistaken. Um
Is it Iraq?
the oh Iran, Iran. That's what it is, Iran. You got Venezuela going back and forth with the U.S.
Right.
Okay, you got I forget who else. You know, but hey, as a scripture said, there should be wars and rumors of wars, and that's going on. Okay, I mean they're not mentioning it in the main media, but alternative media is showing you. You know, you got wars in the Baltic Sea. Okay, you got wars in the Pacific. Okay, and I mean they're little wars, you know, but it's a little wars that eventually grows bigger.
Right. Like the trade war that's going on now. You know, that could turn into a literal war because of the different tariffs that they're putting on China. You know, so, say China is not trying to take a beating from the U.S. anymore. You know,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
So I
it's,
mean, it's cool.
yeah. And then you also have talks of rumors of nuclear war going on between if you're watching the news, going on between North Korea and the U.S.
Yep.
And how what is it, back August 1st, Trump pulled out of the nuclear,
Arms
the
deal.
yeah, the nuclear arms deal, right? And that's, you see, that's how Esau does things. He wants you to give up your weapons, but he's not willing to give up his weapons. He wants to disarm you so he can come in and take over. But these other nations is not having it, man. You know?
I got a scripture back you up real quick, bro.
All right.
This is the book of Joel, 3 verse the nations ain't having it no more, man. They tired of Esau's bullshit. Okay. The book of Joel 3 verse I'll just jump to 12. You know what? I'll start at verse 10. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what these other nations are saying, man. You know, they're proclaiming themselves to be what? Strong now. Because now they have, you know, defense and nuclear capability to what? To defend themselves now. Now they're not
Hmm.
the nations that's just left in the dark to just be trampled over. You know, now they
Right.
got a military power to say, you know what? We're gonna fight back, man. The hell with this, man. But who's their supplier? Who is supplying these other nations? The big bear, man. See, Russia.
Yep. Russia. That's why down in Venezuela, and shalom to the brother Brian Adams on the comment board. He said uh he said RT article, Pakistan threatens India with mini nukes. Right.
There you go.
There you go. Right. Pakistan threatening India with mini nukes. There you go. Nuclear war.
Yep, yep. Hey, you know what? I want to start at verse 9, bro.
Okay.
3 verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, that all the men of war draw near and let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Um, and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And these nations gotta follow the will of the Lord, man. You see, they're following
Okay.
His will. So what these nations are being, being gathered all together to what? To be judged in the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. The valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. Yahweh's judgment.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna get a. I want to get a quick precept. The Book of Revelation, 17 verse 17. It says, you know what? I want to start at verse 15. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And that whore, that whore represents America, Babylon the Great, right? And who she's sitting upon is all the other nations. Okay, it says in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which is represents the EU, These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, man. Because America's allies, right, is eventually going to turn on America's Babylonic plate, man, and they're going to destroy this place,
Right.
man. See? And
Right.
Obadiah talks about how, you know, the roughly paraphrasing talks about how the people that was once with them have deceived you, man.
Con, con, because they can see yeah, America ain't nothing but a whore,
Yeah.
you know, and then they're gonna just as it says in Ezekiel the 38th chapter, the Lord's gonna put an evil thought in their mind to where they're gonna turn against America and destroy them, you know, and you get a real good let me see like a visual in that movie X-Men Apocalypse with that guy Apocalypse, which was basically Yahweh Shai, you know.
Was that
Pardon me.
Thanos?
Oh no. It was X-Men Apocalypse where they had a
Oh,
character,
dude, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and he basically channeled uh that's hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can get that scripture cuz he basically he used Professor X who had the power to control people's minds, and he used him to channel all the nations around the world to hit the button for the nuclear missiles and to launch them. Now in the
Yeah,
movie, of course, Esau is gonna make he put some truth in there, but he also puts lies. In the movie, all the missiles went up into outer space, but really in actuality, they're gonna go up in outer space and they're gonna come right back down. You know,
correct.
to destroy these different destroy chiefly America and various different parts of the world. So
And
Esau puts it in these little movies.
and while you're getting that, I want to finish off on this book of
Okay.
Revelation 17, verse 16 again. It says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Right? How's that going to be done? By with the nuclear way of nuclear missiles. Verse 17 it says, For the Most High has put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to
Right.
agree and give their kingdom unto the beast and to the words of the Most High, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled, man. You see? So, this whole thing that's being set up is to fulfill, the will of the Lord, man. Hey,
Con.
because you don't got free will, man. You see, if it was free will, nations would think what they're doing as they got planned is going to go their way, but it's not, man. It's going to go the Lord's way because Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh is controlling this whole movie.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it doesn't the scripture say they call him the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, there's different passages in the scriptures, like in Ezra's, second Ezra's, where I think it was King Jehoiakim. He was he he was coming to fight one of these kings, and the king basically said the Lord is hastening him to the battle, right? Basically gave him the go ahead to go battle against certain people. So the Lord picks different nations to go to war with each other, right? And just as we're reading in the scriptures, this is what's happening now. He's preparing all these nations to the battle.
Yep. Got a precept.
Yeah, you say you got a precept.
Yeah, the book of Isaiah 13, verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle.
Right, right. He mustereth the host of the battle. When you look up that word muster, it goes back to a point, right? And particularly to appoint troops. So he's setting the battle in array to happen over there in the Middle East, right? And all those nations are going to go there, to battle.
Exactly.
And it's, ultimately it's going to be to their destruction. But the Lord must the host of the battle. He's appointing it. He's setting everything in order.
Hold on,
Right. So
hold on. Got a precept. Isaiah 34 verse 7 it says, "For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance in the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion."
right, right. The controversy of Zion. Because this is how the Lord is gonna plead with the other nations for what they did to us, according to Joel the third chapter.
Yep, yep.
Right. And I found that precept I was looking for. Let me see. I'm gonna share this. Right, here it is. This is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 10. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, it shall also come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." Salaki, let me see if I get the whole thing.
Matter of fact, hey bro,
Yeah,
can you start ooh man. I want to say start at verse 7, but you can start at verse 4 if you want.
verse verse 7, verse 4.
Yeah, start at verse 4.
Oh, yeah. Verse 4 is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 4. "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords."
Right. So when you read above in the verses, the first and second verse is talking about Gog and Magog. Now we know that that's Russia. See, so when you jump to the fourth verse and it's talking about putting a hooks in thy jaws, basically it's turning Russia back into that Cold War era spirit, man.
Kind that Soviet Union spirit,
Yep.
right? It says verse 5, it says, "Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Targama of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee."
So you go into Persia. I'm trying to Lord willing, I hope I can remember these ancient lands. But that's Iran, right? That's Iran. You got Ethiopia. We know that's the Kushites. You got Libya. That's Libya's in if I'm not mistaken, is that Northern Africa?
Libya, I think that's in Europe. That's Liberia would be in Africa.
No, Libya is Northern Africa.
Oh no,
So
okay.
uh Gomor, that's would be today that would be modern day Turkey. Persia would be modern day Iran. And these same different nations, who is supplying them? Gog and Magog, Russia. Russia is supplying Turkey. Russia is supplying Iran. And the U.S. is even a dotted fact that the U.S. got mad at Turkey because they was like, "Yo, you keep getting your weapons from Russia, man."
Right,
And Turkey told them that we're going to continue to get these weapons from Russia, man. To one of them things like, y'all ain't giving us no weapons. We got to defend ourselves, so we're going to go to the source.
right. And eight with it says all the all these and many people with thee. Just as you were saying with Turkey. The President uh uh what's his name? President Vladimir Putin, right? He even had a sit down with Syria and Turkey, and they were in agreement with each other, and they were talking against America. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Turkey has I believe it's the second largest arsenal that's important to America. With all the different weapons and stuff like that, and then the different trade routes too. So if America loses Turkey, then they lose a big asset in terms of war. So yeah, Turkey's against America, Syria's against America. All these different nations are coming up against America according to the scriptures. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but let me continue on.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 7. It says, "Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them."
And Russia is both nations, man. See, the reason why America they didn't run into Iran yet because of Russia. Russia told America, "You run into Iran, it's game on." Along with it was either China or North Korea. That basically was backing Russia up too. Like, hey, if they go at it, we all gonna go to war.
Kind. It says, after
You can
many days that
jump to your
Salah,
point now.
pardon me.
You can jump to your point in verse 10 now.
Okay, yeah, right. This is let me see. Right.
Verse
So this is yeah, and this is Ezekiel chapter 38 and 10. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Right. So at that same time things shall come into mind. Right. This evil thought is that they're gonna work to destroy America. You know, no matter how many different peace treaties they try to make, or nuclear arms treaties, right? They're gonna turn against America. And the point I was trying to make is when you do watch that movie X-Men Apocalypse, they give you like a sort of an allegorical visual on how uh, uh, the villain, which the villain in that movie was Yahweh Shai. Through the when you analyze it through the spirit, he caused all the people on the earth by way of like mind control to press the basically the nuclear button to launch all those nuclear missiles, right? And we know the Lord is going to use basically the Lord uses his angels to get men to do different things, you know. Uh, um, right, and that's just the point I wanted to make.
Okay. Yep.
Right. What is that? Revelations, the seventh chapter.
Oh, there's some more on that though. Yeah, verse 11.
All right. This is verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates.
That's America, Babylon the Great off top, man. You see, this
Right.
place is also known as the land of unwalled villages, man. You know, why these other nations, they military is not spread out how America's military is spread it out, man. Okay,
Kind.
so even though they got all these military bases and things like that in these other parts, they're that's showing the lack of defense or the lack of defense in their home base.
Right.
And this place is in the eyesight in like in their security, man. Because when they think about that, they be like, you know what, we could scatter all these our military bases and have our military all across the world because we good here. We got enough weapons to defend ourselves, which America does have, a great amount of weapons. I'm not going. I'm not debating that. They do have the military air force and the sea force and you know troops, so to speak. But the thing is, it is already written that they're going to get took down. That the nations are going to come against them as one and take them down, burn them with fire. So it doesn't matter how much you have, you know, it's written in the scriptures that you got to fall. So no matter how big and bad you are, like okay, Goliath, no matter how big and bad Goliath was, David of a small stature, but the Lord was dealing with him, took him down. Because that was the will of the Heavenly Father. That it was supposed to go like that. So the same with America. America, you know what? My other nickname for America, Babylon the Great, is Goliath. Because you about to go down. You say you got these big balls, and you are exalted amongst the nations, but you about to get took down. And then you got the pride like Goliath too. You be taught, oh what? You like that's how they look at it. Iran,
Right.
you going okay, you gonna see, oh Russia. Oh y'all gonna shoot or oh three of y'all nations gonna come up against us? Oh, we're gonna tear y'all down with no problem. You see, you
Right.
got that
Right.
spirit, but not knowing it's already written. You got to get took down.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Let me get this. I got a precept backing up what you're saying about going into how America's was proud like is proud like like Goliath was.
Yep. Okay, while you're getting that, I'll read this Isaiah 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of Chaldeans, for thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate.
Right.
Because you about to get touched, man. You see, America was a place that never has been hit with what nuclear missiles. You see, but what's coming to this upon this place? Hey, there's no way you're gonna be no more called tender and delicate.
Right. Hey. This.
Hey,
Hey.
the missiles is about to penetrate you, you great whore.
Right. And this goes right with it too, man. This is Proverbs 16 and 18. It says pride go before destruction and a
Mm.
haughty spirit before a fall. Right. And the Lord's about to he's about to he's about to visit your pride, man. Because America's a they're big headed, man. They think they're gonna be here forever. You know, Esau thinks his kingdom's gonna be here forever, but the Lord's about to destroy this place. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and one of those reasons because of their pride. You know,
The scripture says that thy pride will deceive thee.
pardon me.
The scripture says, thy pride have deceived thee.
Right, right. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Right, and we're about to witness America's fall. You know, through this nuclear war. You know, through nuclear destruction.
Yep.
Just as the bro said, sit in the how'd it go again? Sit in the dust.
O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Right. So America's about to meet its shame.
Yep. Correct. So we can go back to Matthew 24.
Back to Ezekiel.
No, Matthew 24.
Oh yeah, come Matthew's 24.
I think he was at verse 3. I'm not mistaken.
Come verse. Yep, at verse 3. Yeah, this is Matthew 24:3. It says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Right? Basically, asking when Yahweh Shai, uh, what's going to be the token or the thing to signify that he was returning, right? And then the end of the world, when you go into that word, let's see here, you go into that word for world, it should be aeon, right? Which basically means end of an age, right? Age of rulership. And at that time, the Romans were ruling, and this is the new Roman Empire, right? Aeon. And as you can see here, it says forever, an unbroken age, a perpetuity of perpetuity of time, eternity, worlds, universe. It says a period of time, an age. So what they're really saying when they say the end, what it really means when they're saying the end of the world, it means the end of the age of Esau's rule, basically, right? So just to clarify that, it's not talking about the end of the entire earth.
Right. The earth survives forever.
Okay, it's just talking about the end of this current rulership,
Yep.
right? Verse 4, it says, Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Right, and we see that through various news reports, people popping up saying that they're the Messiah.
Mm.
One of them, Trump is alluding to saying that he's the Messiah. In recent news reports. Verse 6, it says, he shall hear of war, Salakia, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
That's right. That's right. And you see all these things happen all across the globe, man. Okay, the brother just went into you showing different earthquakes, what's happening all across the world. Famines, pestilences, you know, all these is happening in everywhere, you know, but it's happening at um, in a rate that it has ever happened before.
Yeah, it's happening at an alarming rate. You know,
Right. Yep.
it says all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So that's the point right there. You
That's
know,
it. Yep.
famines and pestilences. You see, hey, you see that going on in these different countries. I'd say, chief, especially in Venezuela, people are killing people in order to eat. You know, they have different diseases that are also going on in Venezuela because of the medical industry also. You know, so
Hmm.
hey, these are the signs and the tokens of the end. You know,
Correct.
right? And they said, let me see, because we still got some more articles on
Yeah. When we spoke, people. So you could just read a little bit of the yellow vest, or you could just briefly touch on the yellow vest, in the thing that's going on in Hong Kong, and one more if you want. You
All right, all right. Yeah, and this is going into the uprisings of the people as we read in
Second,
Ezra's 9. You want to read that one again?
yeah, I'll read it. Yeah, I'll read it right now. The book of Second Ezra 9, verse 3. It says, "Therefore, when there shall be seen of earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things which from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning."
Right, right. So you can see these different uprisings happening around the world. So this is the Yellow Vest movement, which is a protest. We're going to read that's been happening since 2018 up to this present day. You know, if you know anything about history, these Edomites in France, they're known for violently protesting against their government. So, which attends the French Revolution. So here over here on the side, uh, here we're gonna start up here. I'm gonna highlight the parts that I'm reading, and I'm just get a couple of things in here. But this is so here for the yellow vests. This is the reason why they're protesting. I'm gonna get some of the different effects from that protest. So this
Right.
is it says the movement is motivated by rising fuel prices and a high cost of living. It pro- it claims that the disproportionate burden of the government's tax reforms were falling on the working and middle classes,
See, hold on,
especially right,
Slock here. They know what's going on, and they're taking action.
right,
You know, they know what's going on, and they're taking action. So they're like, okay, y'all screwing us over. It's time out for that, man. Now we got to take it upon our own hands. But
right,
these people here, these docile people here, they don't even know they're getting screwed over. And it's
right,
just funny because when we mention these different things while we're on the highways and byways teaching, people be looking at us like the government is the government is not with us. You niggas are crazy. What are you talking about?
right. Hey, it said what? Rising fuel prices. Fuel prices. The gas here in America just went up. So almost $3. You know, yeah. And who's to say that it's not gonna? Well, it is gonna go up. You know, through inflation, it's
Yep.
gonna go up even higher. There's, you know, say gas is like $60 a gallon. People ain't gonna protest until it happens then, right? And another thing, to point out is this protest over here, as it says, this protest was happened since the 17th of November in 2018, right? So this
Yeah.
has been going on for almost a year. When different things happen here in America, they'll do a protest, but it only lasts for like 2 weeks, right? And
Yeah.
then it dies back down, you know?
Correct.
Right. So like, but I'm gonna continue on here. It says the government's tax reforms were falling on the working and middle class, especially in rural and peri-urban areas. The protesters have called for lower fuel taxes and a reintroduction of the solidarity tax on wealth a minimum wage increase, the implementation of citizens' initiatives, referendums, as well as the resignations of President Emmanuel Macron and the second Felipe government, right? So basically telling you what they're protesting for, right?
Yep.
So now this. I'm gonna jump down here to this third paragraph. This is what's going on in the protests. It says the protests have involved demonstrations and the blocking off of roads and few depots, some of which developed into major riots, right? It says described as the most violent since those of May 1968. The police response resulting in many incidences of loss of limb, oh snap, has been criticized by international media. The movement has received international attention and protesters in many places around the world, some with similar grievances, others unrelated, have used yellow vest as a symbol,
Mm.
right? So basically using it as a symbol of protest. But this is violent protest going on over here in France, right? And what's the scripture where basically that where it says that basically they're not going to have any regard for the rulers.
I got it. I'm still article.
Pardon me.
I said I got it. I'm still read a few more articles, and I was gonna close out on it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, one thing I wanted to get over here on the side. It says let me see here. It has the number of police casualties, right? So
Mm.
even you know police officers are getting injured
Not
from
only that, I'm surprised they didn't show you the suicides, bro. The police over there is committing suicides, bro.
oh man,
Yeah, they tired of that mess. Like I mean, it's really going, bro. It's not like a regular police day where they stop and go get they Dunkin' Donuts and they coffee and ride around and nah, not out there. You see, they getting cocktails or flyers thrown at them, rocks, and they really in battle when they go to work.
right? This is
Ain't no light day in France if you're a police officer.
right down here. It says deaths. It says casualties. It says 11 deaths, including three yellow vests, were killed in traffic accidents caused by yellow vest roadblocks in Belgium and France. Two yellow vests, both age over 50, died during the demonstrations due to heart problems unrelated to protests. A woman died of a surgical shock. But this is the point I wanted to get down here. Injuries, police and civilians was over 4,000. So letting you know how violent the protest was, and up here where it says methods, it says protest, violence, civil disobedience, property
Mm.
damage, vandalism, barricades, blocking traffic. To say, oh man, it says disabling traffic enforcement cameras, rioting, collectivist, uh, how you say that word? Anarchism. It
Mm.
says looting, strike action. Uh, right. It says the status is ongoing. So hey, all these man, you have to imagine if being a police officer, you can't even walk outside without being armed to the teeth. You know, because these protesters try to get you.
Yeah. So yeah, we done on that one.
But I'm yeah,
And I also got
and
another one
this
right here.
is okay.
The Hong Kong protesters says they cause growth to give citizens right to live and work in the UK. Hey, so the China man don't even want to be in their own homeland. Now they want to go to the UK, man. You see? Hey,
Right.
but I guarantee you, if America went and flooded that place with their religion and democracy and philosophies and ideology, right? They wouldn't want to leave their place, man. You see, but now it has been Babylonized. You see,
Yeah,
now they like, no,
Babylonian
we gotta get
eyes.
the hell out of here, man. You see, so
Right.
it says calls for the UK to restore the right of abode to people in Hong Kong are growing as the political crisis in the former British colony escalates. I wanted to get to the point. It says several hundred protesters rallied outside the British consulate on Sunday to demand they receive a full British passport. The Financial Times reported. Hey, so they want to get the hell out of Hong Kong, man. They want to go to the UK. See, so yeah, that's it on that one, bro.
All right. Yeah, I have this one from since you went to one in Hong Kong. I have this uprising in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So this is on Brazil. Uh, it's on news.sky.com. It says Brazil strike protests, tear gas and blast bombs as violence flares. It says burning tires are used to block roads as unrest erupts over controversial reforms aimed at reviving the nation's flagging economy. Right, so you could see, what do these different protests have in common? You know, they're rising up against uh, the different things that their government is doing. Against them. Right, and then and this they're starting to have no regard for the government, so that's why they're rising and being they're rising up and rioting and being violent without any care of the law enforcement.
Mm.
It says riot police in Brazil have clashed with demonstrators exchanging volleys of tear gas and fireworks during a day of protests, venting frustration at the country's leadership. Sky News chief correspondent Stuart Ramsey sent this dispatch from the front line of uh, the unrest. It was ostensibly a day of protest and a general strike against pension reforms proposed by Brazilian government of President uh, Jair Bolsonaro. In reality, it was a protest against him and his ultra right wing policies on virtually every subject. So hey, yeah, man, that just proves the point. There's uprisings in these different places and violent uprisings. And I'm gonna read this and then you can get back to the scriptures. It says the country had woken to tires burning in its largest city, Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo. Schools and banks shut across the country, and widespread disruption of public transport.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All
But
this,
yeah,
man. They just, hey, like you said, they're just having disregard for the law enforcement, man.
hmm
And it's like I just got to just a quick as articles it says Anjaya Para. I don't know where that is. Jaya Para. This is in Papa protesters. Hawaii. Mauna Kea protesters. But as you can see, man, this, these are places in all different areas of the world doing what? Protesting, having an uprising against who? Their own government. You see,
Con.
to these people here in Babylon the Great found out that they have been screwed over. They're gonna lose their damn mind. Oh, especially when see when you got things like when a famine takes place, people want to lose it. You see, and we know that the brother said stuff like that. People won't lose it, yeah. But food, what you want to see Jake get out of control? Get Jake, let Jake have no be able to no access to food. You gonna see how crazy. They already showed you with this dumbass Popeye sandwiches. People added chicken, so they get mad and fighting and doing all these crazy stuff. Imagine when you go to the grocery store and the shelves are empty.
Right.
It's all gonna take place. So second measure, actually I want to get that one first. You know, second measure six. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22, it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's famine, man. And that's coming. These places that you could just quickly go to your giant eagles and your what they call it in other cities. I forget the little store places that they call them. Publix, places like that.
What like supermarkets.
Yeah, your supermarkets, hey, those places are going to be suddenly appear you when you go there of an unsown place, man. It's just gonna be shells.
Right.
You see.
Right. Jake's gonna lose it when they when they
But that's
can't
what
have
but the point I'm the disregard of the nations, not following the rules and regulations or the laws of the land, so to speak.
right.
The decrees of Esau, right? Now in the book of Second Ezra 15 verse 16 it says, for there shall be sedition among men, in invading one another, nor princes, in the course of their actions, shall stand in their power.
Right. Right. And this just as we read in these articles, they they didn't regard any of these these officials or these governments. They said to hell with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they got violent, you know, and this is a sign that the end is near, and that that the salvation of the elect men of Israel is near also, right? And that just as it says in Ezra the sixth chapter, it says Jacob is the Salakia. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Right, and
Right?
we're at
Esau.
the yeah, kind, and we're at the beginning. We're at the beginning of the end. It's about is his rulership is about to end, and he's about to go out with a bang, so to speak. He's about to go out
Mm-hmm.
with violently, you know, and you can see things escalating, you know. But yeah, is anything else you wanted to read?
Yeah, so you can close this out.
All right. Well, yeah. With that, Lord willing, brothers were edified through this video, and with that, we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Racha Hakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, and shalom to the whole elect brethren, teaching and pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.